Hello, welcome to this outstanding training presentation series entitled Patience is a Virtue. So we know what patience is. It's defined as the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. And if I could add on further to that, more specifically without getting negatively emotional. A word which is a awesome synonym of patience that I like to use is restraint. So, in the world of officiating, not just basketball, but all sports, especially those involving a whistle, the best officials know how to show restraint before putting air in the whistle. This particular presentation will go into how, when, and why we should show patience before putting air in the whistle. Let's get started. Here are the triple P's, more specifically, potential plays where patience is applicable. We have plays involving drives to the lane by the ball handler dribbler who is being illegally contacted during the duration of the drive. Block shot attempts. Contact between the ball handler dribbler and defenders. And defenders could include primary defenders as well as secondary defenders. Rebounding plays and flopping. We probably will not talk about flopping a lot in this particular version of the training series, but we will have sequel versions of this particular training series where we will do an exclusive focusing on flopping plays. Here are some things that we should consider when factoring in whether we can be patient on plays or not. The skill level and ability of players. Now, it should be said that in general, players at higher levels or who have more skill level and ability will probably be able to work through illegal contact more so than players who are not maybe as skilled or may not have as high an ability level. That is not to say that we should be exclusively patient all the time when we encounter high level play. It's just a factor that we can consider. Another important consideration factor is possession consequence. If we have illegal contact, does that affect a player's ability to secure possession of the ball without much severe impact? And last but certainly not least, play development. If we have a foul that is occurring in a play, does that foul impact the play such that we are not allowed to let that play develop and finish? Or is the foul such that we can show some patience and allow the play to have development and perhaps come to a finish? And that's what this training presentation is all about. So, how can we learn to exhibit patience, especially on a basketball court? Well, first good step is to survey the entire court. See what you have. Who are the players on the court? Do we have star players? Do we have players who exhibit a much higher skill level and ability than other players? Are there players that can work through illegal contact? Do we have outstanding defenders? Do we have outstanding shot blockers? Do we have outstanding shooters? Do we have players who are fast and quick enough to drive to the lane at the drop of a hat? Survey the court, know who your players are. Step two, self talk. And that's going to dive into a lot of our third step of refereeing the defense. Our defender is legal, our defender is not legal. We have a drive. Is the ball handler dribbler about to take a shot? We need to self talk throughout the entire start, development, and finish of a play, each and every play that we can, which leads us to refereeing the defense. We get more plays right when we referee the defense and not exclusively have our eyes on the offensive player with the ball handler dribbler. And step four, and the most important step, is to start, develop, finish, decide. Normally, the fifth step would be a whistle, but in exhibiting patience, we have a fifth step that is replay. Can we quickly replay the play in our mind before deciding to put air in the whistle or deciding not to put air in the whistle? We're going to look at 8 particular plays, and we're going to see instances of our officials showing great patience, and we may see instances of our officials who could probably stand to show a little more patience. Let's view some plays.
Wheeler, who has the basketball now, that's Isaiah Collier with the basketball. Javon Cameron, Jelani Reynolds, Kyle Burns, and Heritage Payne.
So in this play, we see that Isaiah Collier is driving to the lane in transition. He observes some minimal contact during the transition and his initial drive. As he goes up for what we thought would probably be a layup attempt, he's clearly fouled by the secondary defender. There's no doubt about that. But because of Lee's patience before putting air in the whistle, it leads to a wide open layup by his teammate, Mr. Payne. Some things we can take from this play is that we want to keep the ball live with the clock properly running for as long as possible. And because we know that Isaiah Collier in this play where he's a senior is not only a highly skilled player, but in this case he's the #1 player in the country, we can be patient with some illegal contact based on possession consequence. We agree that he's clearly fouled by a secondary defender, but see how our lead and trail officials do an excellent play of letting the play develop and continue to see if there's possession consequence. And because there's not, we didn't have to stop the play, we didn't have to stop the clock, and we got a wide open layup by Mr. Pace. Excellent patience by our officiating crew. Let's look at another play.
Watkins on the drive gets denied emphatically. A few different.
So in this play, Juju Watkins will drive to the lane. She clearly beats the primary defender. And as Juju attempts her shot, she is met by 2 secondary defenders who contest the shot with their arms and hands in Juju's vertical plane. Even though they end up in Juju's vertical plane when they contest the shot, we end up having the ball blocked prior before any body contact. And in this case, Juju is not displaced whatsoever. Here are the great things that our officials do in this play. Their eyes go immediately from the primary defender who's beaten to the potential secondary defender. And they self-talk themselves through this play by asking themselves, what did the defense do wrong? Did the defense do anything wrong? And the answer to that question is an emphatic no. This is excellent patience by our officials. And it gives us a thing for plays with block shots. We want the block shot attempt to happen. We can then judge any resulting contact if the ball is indeed blocked first before making any decisions. And if we do have body contact before the ball, then our decision is easy. This is outstanding work by this officiating crew. Let's look at another play.
Giesman. A lot of bumping and grinding. One free throw coming up.
So this play sets an excellent theme for plays where we have a drive,
a lot of bumping and grinding
by the ball handler dribbler, and illegal contact by the primary defender or secondary defender who is guarding our ball handler dribbler on the drive to the lane. As we can see in this play, the primary defender
Giesman.
will place his right forearm into the
A lot of
back
bumping
of the
and
ball handler
grinding.
dribbler when the ball handler dribbler reaches the left
One free
elbow.
throw coming up.
Now, this contact does redirect our ball handler dribbler a little bit more right than he probably would have desired, but notice that there was no possession consequence, and our ball handler dribbler
Giesman.
was still potentially almost
A
able
lot
to
of
get to the
bumping and
rim.
grinding.
On the layup attempt, the primary
One free throw coming up.
defender displaced the ball handler dribble with that same illegal forearm, and our officials put a whistle on that play. The foul was called and will result in free throws.
And
And we're
Giesman.
going to talk about
A lot of
why this
bumping and
patience
grinding.
is so great by our officiating crew and why it
One free
sets a
throw coming up.
great theme for drives to the lane where we have illegal contact on the ball handler dribbler who is going to the lane. Let's look at another play.
And Giesman.
So in this play, following the three-point shot attempt, there's a battle for the rebound between 32 red and 5 white. As 32 red obtains the rebound, she is potentially contacted illegally twice by white 5. And the second illegal contact, which is a slight push, could have resulted in a potential traveling violation by 32 red. These plays, especially rebounding plays, have two things that are very vital: refereeing the defense and possession consequence. We can see that the illegal contact does not affect possession consequence. We see that the second illegal contact with a slight push could have resulted in a traveling violation. But our rebounder didn't do anything wrong. So why would we want to penalize her with a potential traveling violation when the contact by the opposing player would have caused that potential traveling violation? This is where our crew did an outstanding job of being patient and not putting air in the whistle and not penalizing the rebounder who did nothing wrong with a potential traveling violation. Well done by our crew. Let's look at another play. As we see an isolation matchup in lane 3 and the drive by our ball handler dribbler, let's agree on something right away. Our ball handler dribbler is going to be fouled by not only the primary defender that he beats off the drive, he's also going to be fouled by the secondary defender in the lane who is attempting to give help defense. We also can agree that our ball handler dribbler is fouled after his dribble has ended and he has started his motion for attempting to take a shot. Thus, continuous motion should apply in this play. But watch what happens when center makes this call. He immediately points to the end line, or in this case, one of the four designated spots on the court. In this case, the designated spot on the end line on the right side of the floor. The center does not look at his partner and realize lead also has a foul and probably has the same foul. Does not realize that the dribble has ended and that illegal contact occurs while our ball handler dribbler has started his customary motion to attempt to take a shot. This is why being patient is so important. If we're patient, we're going to pause and not hit and run while making foul calls. We're going to survey the court. We're going to look at our partners. We're going to see if they have a whistle or any additional information to give us. And we will have correctly awarded free throws to number 3 for Riverwood instead of having an inline throw-in at the designated spot on the right side of the floor.
Juju lobbing it inside beautifully. Marshall extra feed. Then the denial on the interior by Iwala for Ole Miss.
Just Ray Marshall with a nice extra pass. Defense comes in. We've seen a couple nice blocks from Ole Miss and just how many bodies.
So on this play, we're going to have screen and roll action, and it results in high-low action between Juju and her teammate. Her teammate will make a great pass to the cutter on the left side of the floor. So in these plays, it's important to referee the defense by getting our eyes to the next defender. And at high level play especially, we must have the mindset that almost every shot is potentially a shot that will be contested by a closeout defender. Here's where self-talk works great here. We have a contest on number 12 for Ole Miss. Do we have ball before body or body before ball? What did the defender do wrong? Guess what? Absolutely nothing. Because the defender will, at the apex of her jump and the apex of the jump of the ball handler dribbler, contacts the basketball. And it's only the contact at the apex of their jumps, which are legal by both opposing players, that causes the ball handler dribbler to go down. This is excellent patience by officiating crew to, again, with the theme of block shots, allow the block shot to happen and then judge any contact that may occur before, during, or after the block shot. Let's look at another play.
They started off really slow against Archer, and Archer was in it in that first half. They can't have that slow start here against Norcross.
Foul called on the pass.
They started off really
Let's
slow
describe
against
this play
Archer,
before
and
we
Archer was in it in that
give a
first
summation
half.
about it.
They can't have that slow start
So
here
most of the
against
action in this
Norcross.
particular play will take
Foul called on
place
the
in
pass.
lanes 1 and 2, primarily in Trail's
They started off
primary
really
coverage area.
slow against
And
Archer,
we're going to see that
and
Trail
Archer
has
was in
great
it in that
positioning
first
throughout
half.
this play.
They can't have that slow start
So we're going to
here
notice that
against
when
Norcross.
White 2, who's our ball handler dribbler,
called on
ends
the
his
pass.
dribble and goes airborne, he's fouled by the
They
secondary
started off
defender.
really slow
No doubt
against
about
Archer,
that.
and Archer was in it in
Now
that
the
first
foul
half.
will take
They
place
can't have that slow
in
start
Leeds'
here
primary coverage
against
area.
Norcross.
Foul
The
called
ball
on
handler
the pass.
dribbler belongs to Trail.
They
So
started off really
Trail's going to
slow
see
against Archer,
the start
and
of
Archer
this
was in it in
sequence
that
all the
first
way
half. They can't
to the
have
point
that
where the
slow
foul
start here
occurs. So
against
Trail
Norcross.
has to start
Foul
and
called on
end
the pass.
to the point where the foul occurs.
They
Trail has
started
an
off
open
really
line of sight on
slow
this
against
play.
Archer, and Archer was in it in
So
that
Lee
first
puts
half.
air in his whistle
They
on the
can't have
foul.
that slow start here
Now
against
let's
Norcross.
state again.
Foul called
The foul
on
is
the
right.
pass.
But we noticed something about
They
Trail
started
while
off
Lee
really
is
slow
putting
against
air in the
Archer,
whistle on the
and
foul.
Archer was in
Do
it
you
in
see
that
Trail
first
has
half.
no
They
intention
can't
of
have
blowing
that
his
slow
whistle?
start here against Norcross.
Foul called
Trail's
on
trying
the
to be
pass.
patient here. Let's watch why.
They
Look at
started
the
off
end of this
really
play.
slow against Archer,
If
and
we
Archer was in
wait
it in that first half.
and show
They
some
can't have that
patience,
slow start here
Norcross
against Norcross.
makes a wide open three.
Foul called on the pass.
We want
They
plays, if
started
all
off
possible,
really
to have a
slow
finish.
against Archer, and
Hence,
Archer was in it
start,
in that
develop,
first half.
finish.
They can't
This
have
play
that
would
slow
have had a
start here
finish.
against Norcross.
If there's
Foul
possession
called on the
consequence
pass.
after this foul where the ball does not
They
make it
started off really slow against
to
Archer,
the open
and
shooter
Archer was in it
in the
that
corner,
first half. They can't
you have a
that
whistle,
slow start here
and you will be
against
correct in your
Norcross.
whistle.
Foul called on the pass.
And even though the foul
They
does
started
occur
off
in Leeds'
really
primary
slow
coverage
against
area,
Archer, and Archer was in
League
it in
probably
that
does not
first half.
see the
They
start
can't have
of
that
this
slow
play
start here
all the
against
way
Norcross.
to the end
Foul
with
called
regards
on the
to the
pass.
dribble of the ball handler dribbler
They started
to the
off
point where he
really
goes
slow against
airborne
Archer,
and is trying to
and Archer
decide
was
between
in
the
it in
shot
that
and the
first
pass.
half. They can't have that slow
Sometimes
start here
primary
against Norcross.
primary
Foul called
does
on
not
the
equal
pass.
proximity. This is where we should
They
match
started off really
Trail's
slow against
patience
Archer, and
if
Archer
we're
was
leading.
in it in that first half. They can't have that slow start here against Norcross.
Let's look at the next play.
Foul called on the pass.
In winning time, we must be perfect with our calls. Look at the time and score. Less than 24 seconds to go in overtime. One possession ball game. Pitt down by 2 with the basketball. The crucial part of this play clearly happens during the rebound action. So let's answer the question, was this enough contact by goal 21 to warrant a foul call on this play? So let's look at the play in its entirety. So following the shot attempt, Louisville's 5 and 13 gain optimal rebounding position. Number 21 for Pittsburgh goes just to the side of 5 Louisville, just behind them to his left, to get involved in the rebound action. Both players legally go airborne for the potential rebound. And 21 for Pitt will actually tip the ball away from 5 to the point where the tip in goes in. Now we're going to see in the replay that the ball is contacted before the body. Center calls the foul. We noticed that Lee had no intention of calling any foul. We're going to watch this play a couple of more times, and here's something to be aware of. Lee has an open line of sight on all the action in the lane, exhibits great patience, has no intent of blowing a whistle on this play. We're going to see center who calls the foul potentially has what will be black 33 blocking his line of sight. Center should match Lee's patience and perhaps lay off this play, especially with a player in his line of sight. The worst that can happen if center has no whistle, we're in a tie ball game with Louisville having a potential possession to win the contest. You make the call. We would be remiss if we did not give a shout out to Slides Carnival for the use of this presentation template and Pexels for the use of the photos that appear in this presentation template. Thank you all for allowing us to use this presentation template and the photos within it for this outstanding training presentation. Patience is indeed a virtue. It is a skill not only applicable for officiating but for life. It is one whose mastery will be acquired and obtained over a long period of time. It requires many minutes and many hours and many days and many weeks and many months and many years of commitment and investment in whatever labor or avocation or occupation you are involved in. And in this case, basketball officiating. And for that matter, officiating all sports. It is one that requires practice. It is one that you're going to fail many times. But throughout those failures, persistence and continued practice will turn those failures into successes. It is one that you can do and that we believe in your ability to do. We believe in your ability to have patience, to let it produce the calm such that you can exhibit not only as an official, but as a person that will benefit not only you, but the people that you are placed or you are tasked to care for. We believe in you. And with that said, thank you for spending part of your day or night with us. We hope you gain something invaluable from this training presentation, not only for basketball officiating, but for life. Have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great season, a great year.